You got Extraordinary things can happen if you believe yourself. You got to have some faith in yourself if you only speak for your friends.
When you feel tight, look at yourself.
Inside your heart, you will find a special place to unwind.
When you feel right, look at yourself.
Inside your mind, you see connected eternity.
When you feel tight, look at yourself.
Inside your heart, you will find a special place to unwind.
When you feel right, look at yourself.
Inside your mind, you will see connected eternity.
He's the one for me, and there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To the finish line, everywhere you look, he's right on time. With a silent stare, raging through the open air, he's without a care. Everywhere you look, he's right on time. Moving to the beat. Can you feel the heat when the tires kiss the street?
Listen and you'll hear the heartbeat of a universe teeming with force. See all the forms and the faces of nature taking its course. And feel all the wonderful motion flowing through things far and near. Nature will share her secrets when we are ready to hear energy. These are a few of your faces, glowing in timeless places, bringing our lives new graces. Energy, there is no living without you. We must keep learning about you. Now is the time to find how to. Energy, you are profound. You make the world go round and round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round.
Thank you, Energy. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Godoy, thank you so much for the 95 stream streak. My goodness. You missed last stream, no one's spoiled for you. Okay. Just don't be too upset when you see I start after that boss fight. Minot's 59. Hey, Chris, thank you for 52 months. Appreciate that. Hope your Overwatch games are going well. Thank you. Thank you, Cubano, for the 15 stream streak. Hi, everyone. How's it going? I hope you're well. You know what's funny? I think yesterday during the stream, or one of them, I said they should make a dinosaur Souls-like. And then, like, I was looking at Steam Next Fest demos, and literally, this is the thing. Dino Blade. Kirk Linden, thank you so much for following. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Hope you're having a good evening. Hey, WP, look at this. I wish this into existence. Now look, it doesn't exactly look high fidelity, but I still want to play this on Friday when we do our Steam Next Fest UPF. They do look really funny how they're holding them. So I'm gonna check. There's a couple other demos. There's some Metroidvanias I want to look at. One of them was called. What's one of them called? Solitaria. That one promised parrying. So hey, Kane Hollywood says, "My Mike, did you see today that a Simpsons Hit 'em Run remaster release might happen? I saw that Radical Entertainment was reformed. I did see that, and I saw they did the Simpsons cover art. I mean, that would be amazing. Simpsons Hit 'em Run's great. I'm glad Radical Entertainment's back. I'm gonna curb my expectations for now. Hope they do something cool. Kirkland, thank you for the kind words. Appreciated that. Thank you so much. Do I sound quiet? Okay, it's about to get louder. If you raise your volume, I'm about to raise it, because I had a Google meeting today, and that's what raises it. Sorry. All right, I'm back. I should be normal again. Sorry. We have our Monday meeting. It's on Google Meet, and Google Meet just automatically turns down my gain on this thing. Sorry, it's annoying. Sorry about that, everybody. But yeah, Solitaria is one of these I'm looking at, and it promises parrying. You know, I like parrying. So yeah, we'll do the Steam Nexus things here soon. All right, let's get into it. We're pretty late into the game here for Liza P. Maybe we can beat the base game tonight. Maybe even start the DLC. I have no idea. We'll see. I do like parrying. Oh yeah, I gotta get the death counter. Death counter for Cutie. I took a nap and it was such a big mistake. I'm such a piece of shit. And not only did I take the nap that I didn't need to take, I fell asleep without putting my CPAP on, so I just had nothing but nightmares, and they were really lame nightmares. Ugh. Ooh. I guess these. Did I do everything to get the actual final boss? I assume people will tell me if not. I think I just need to be a real boy, and I think I'm getting there, but I'll make sure that we're on track for the true ending. Naps are good for you, maybe, but mine felt bad. I'm on track? Okay. Did I see the bad news about Evo today? I mean, I saw a couple days ago where Saudi Arabia like completely owns it now. Is there more bad news? $150 156 deaths so far. I don't think there are too many of these I had 200 deaths in. This is the DLC will probably get there. It's also a really long game. I'm pretty sure we had 200 deaths in Dark Souls 2. Oh, shit, you short. It's going to be 9 Evos a year now. They're making it to where comparisons to play multiple games. They're just, what, Kane? What do they talk about? Boy, somebody's just going to have to make a new Evo, huh? The Evo's just not going to be the main thing anymore, huh? Jesus. It's terrible. Evo was so freaking good. Even just recently, man. That first year with Street Fighter 6. I still listen to that song that they made for the, like, intro to the Street Fighter 6 finals. That, Run Back City. good enough. Yeah, I have bought Surge 1 and Surge 2 off of the cheap sale, so I have both of those. We might do those at some point. This guy killed these guys easily enough for the most part. Yeah, we'll screw it. They recharge now. I have to say that recharging Legion quartz I spent was like the best one. Getting multiple of these Falcon Eyes is so freaking good. Oh, I hope that's quartz. The Combo Breaker, like, we have other good events like Combo Breaker. Oh. Take that, fool. Got Proggies and before you finally filled Salazar. Nice. Do you use the golden egg cheese with the leaping amulet? This is what jump attacks is. Who's doing that in this game? Oh, it's max stamina. Yeah. I wonder if that would be better than this. I don't know. I doubt it. Go to Fashion RPG. There you go. I did a lot of runs of Resident Evil 4. The one I did get to do with like the unlimited rocket launcher ammo was pretty fun. Which way am I going now? Kena, I played some Kena when it came out. I would definitely not call it a Souls-like per se, but I did like it. But I don't know if I'm going to play it on stream. Maybe I still put I'll restart Jedi Survivor on here on PC. God, just a few days till Resident Evil, and yeah, I'm gonna be doing a big Resident Evil Requiem launch stream on Giant Bomb after a UPF, so I'm gonna play it very late into the night. Really have it. This. Dang it. I wish that first one staggered in that thing. It's hard to get all those hits in. So, hey, come. I promised this last night, but Jan wasn't feeling well. So we didn't do Miss tonight. I want to be. We have to reschedule it. So there. Ha! You're mean to Jan. How do you feel now? How do you feel now? Huh? Piece of shit. Yeah, you should! I'm joking. Sure, pretty high up. Alright, here's the, What was that? Oh, this is just like... Oh, I see how this works. Cute. Okay, so... If I could drop down here instead... Take a little damage, I'll get this item. What are Stark fragments? I think I have a zone of these and I've never used them. Or even are they? Oh, this is the summoning. Yeah, no wonder I haven't used them. Alright, well, mystery solved there. For the summons, right? Oh, I should probably just sell them, honestly, but I'm not gonna do that. Honestly, probably just stamina at this point. Each summon uses that boss weapon that you get from the Ergo. That's neat.
Did you feel that? It's like someone walked across my grave.
Ah.
I sense Ergo everywhere. I mean, this place is saturated with it. Like what you'd expect from a mountain of dead puppets.
Wonder if our next boss is the final boss. I mean, I think it's probably going to be. It seems like Geppetto is not going to be involved. God damn it. Hey, stop taking that. Oh, I just lost my ergo from that attack. That's interesting. Oh shit. This guy's tough. Disruption kills me too, so this is bad. Jesus Christ. Got wrong thing. Jesus Christ. Can't get close enough to this guy. Stop doing that. Oh my god. Jesus. You come and actually punch me again? Wait, don't punch me. Change my mind. Oh boy. Get out of there. Jeez. Oh, I got quartz for that. Hell yeah. You know what? I have not seen a whale yet, which at some point during this game or the DLC, I've not seen the whale and I've not really seen Pleasure Island. They keep talking about an island. Maybe this is the island, but that seems kind of like a bit of a cop-out to not do a really cool Pleasure Island thing here. Those are two things I have not really seen that I would have expected from a Pinocchio game. The submarine is supposed to be the white whale. Oh, right. It looks more like a shark, I guess. I guess. Yeah, this thing's so slow when you do it like that. Yeah, I guess that's Monstro. Okay, I still don't think we have had a good enough Pleasure Island. Maybe that's what the DLC is. Honestly, it would make sense. We'll see. Quartz, 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 quartz. Eh. Really don't need those. We're not doing any other legions but this one at this point. Hey, Sander viewed Jenny Nicholson. Oh, yeah, we never did get her on Thumb Truck. But, oh, I thought I had that. Well, our new video is going to be out soon. What's it going to be on? There's the Banjo-Kazooie Nostalgia 64. It's a ROM hack. A Banjo-Kazooie decompile mod that you, Jeff, and Dan would probably think is one of the neatest things ever. No, I've never seen that. I might have to look at that. Go and do the chapel. What is this supposed to represent? The hand of God? Alright. Sure looks like an important spot here. Oh, look at that. Sure looks like we're about to fight Simon. Who's that in the picture? Is that Antonia? What's up here? Real quick. Yep. We're there. Alright. That certainly looks like, yeah, that's certainly a boss arena. Alright. We have enough of this. Actually. Yes, we did. See if I don't think I have quite enough quartz so I can actually fill out this last one and get whatever its perk is, but that's okay. Oh, you're back. Bet you really like me now. Oh. Let me hold you. We have a deep connection, you and I, this kitty. This is the shaking. Alright, kitty. Kind of look like Jetpack Cat. Not quite as fat. This song's so good. This music's awesome. Can't use that right now. Boy, things are happening with that. Oh, this is going to be enough. I'm going to get my retain guard. That's good. Alright. What do I not use? I used attack, I used survival. Oh, it's force. I have to use item type. Alright. Actually, that's pretty good. Charging Fable upon also use. I don't know that. Alright. Good. Hey, PS4. Yeah, I may as well get the stuff for the freaking cube. No.
Mr. Stalker, it's you. It's a relief you're safe. You surprised me, but make no mistake. Stalker, please. If you...
This is the only one we care about. Oh, you found a copy of Ridge Racer 4? Nice. Yeah, Spotify just got all of those Ridge Racer soundtracks, or most of them. It has Ridge Racer 4 now, so that's awesome. It's on YouTube Music too? Nice. Man, that was a long area, huh? Jesus. Alright, I'm gonna assume this is the final boss, and I'm going to be shocked if it's not 3 phases. This game has taken so much from, like, that era of Souls games already. There's no way this is enough 3-phase boss. We'll see. We already never talked about Ridge Racer 4. I know, I keep some secrets. Alright, you wanna get your bets ready? Go. Looks pretty freaking cool, huh? There's some Frankenstein shit now. It's a good background. It's like my Cloud looking at the Mako reactor thing. Is he gonna do an It's Alive thing here? Simon, what you been doing? Father Gascon? At least he only has one arm, I have to worry about.
This is Ergo. Is it not magnificent? Distilled immortality and a key that opens a world with no lies. A key that unlocks true evolution.
Yeah, dude. It looks super evolved. 20 tries?
Give thanks. Ergo is a gift from me, Simon Marnus, who
And a
will
fate?
transgress even God.
Oh boy, that's a cool
Bow
weapon.
down to your God, who will be born now. Show me everything you have. Open up Geppetto.
Oh boy. God damn it. Ow. Shit. Damn it, greedy. Yeah, not stance broken yet.
If you want constant pain, I can apply. Better
Amen.
yet, how about death?
Damn it, there's always a follow up there, Mike. What's this? Okay. Something near that. Got it.
If you want constant pain, I can apply. Better yet, how about death?
Yep. Oh. Some of that missed. Oh. Big swings are help.
This is evolution.
Evolution is a mystery.
Behold, as I discard this fragile body.
Oh. There's a mouth on your shoulder.
As I grasp the power of a true god.
Ah! God. Now we're just taking the hands from Elden Ring. You know, puppets, I get it. Hey, Booba. Take my strong hand. Oh, boy. Oh boy. I feel like my stuff should have been charging during that. That won't be fair. What if I can parry this? What's this? What's that? Okay, I can parry that. It's fine. Oh boy. Damn it. Damn it, Mike. That missed. Great, cool. Running out of stuff here. Ooh, what's that? Shit. on, auto charge. Come on. Thank you. Damn it. Why not? Ooh. Oh, wasted that cube. Alright. The cube is so helpful. Let's see. Pretty good first attempt. Just kind of honestly, at least so far, the strikes are more telegraphed than for Lightning Lady. So I have these. Again, I'm saving these for phase 3. Is there anything else I should be throwing in the extra bag? Why would I do that? What other consumables do we have? Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Maybe these will be good now. We have so many of them. We don't really know what this guy's weak against. So I just have the parry one out right now. Oh, well, okay. Those are pretty good. We have all of these. We must use those. Okay. And finally looked at items. Learned much about this thing. May as well use these as well.
Show me everything you have, Aqueduct Geppetto.
Strikes are so risky here. Okay, I'm gonna do an overhead. And I still got hit by it. Keep moving. You kind of can't hit you with that. You stay close here for that part, you're good. So he does that move. It's actually great. Alright, well, phase 1 went pretty well there. Jeez. Okay, how many of those happen? How long is that happening for? Jesus. Oh boy. What's that? Oh, okay. Why is he doing completely different things now all of a sudden? Ow. Okay, got it off somehow. shit, right? Fall ups. What are you doing? I'm gonna get away from that hand. Damn it. Oh, okay. Didn't do that much damage at least. What does this do to you? Not bad. Damn it. Damn, wrong button. Damn, Mike. Damn it, Mike. Be good. Good. I'm running a bit too scared right now. Come on, use that fucking cube. Go break this thing. Gotta dodge for a bit here. Yep, there it is. Oh, I can. Stop that. I need a heal. Damn it. Damn it. It's a lot of work to probably see phase 3, but I don't know. I doubt that's it. I don't know. That was it was hard. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
It comes to this.
Maybe that's it.
Fairy, Sophia decides the winner.
Well, I think she likes me.
Truly, I envy you. The puppet, my Sophia, keeps turning back time to save.
Oh, she has the power of time. That's why I don't die.
Is it her sense of
I
duty
think I actually might have done it.
or her contempt for me? Or does she truly care for you?
I think she likes me.
I gave up predicting Sophia's actions long ago. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. Sophia, what have you done to her?
Sylvia.
I gave her peace.
Yes, I suppose that was her wish. Sophia was always wise beyond her years. Knowing the truth of people's minds is a curse. I would not have been able to bear it if it weren't for Sophia. Her pure heart was a tonic for my pain. That's why I wanted her.
No, my health's back.
Did, but I couldn't have her in the end. So I tried to use this power to hold her, even if these hands never could. It's fine if I'm gone. But be warned. Watch out for Geppetto.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe we're not done yet. Maybe that's not the final boss. I don't know. Hey, that was pretty good, right? I mean, 2 attempts, you guys. I mean, come on. I was going hard with shit there at the end. I was throwing everything I had. Jeez. I was messing around. I was working on no heals for quite a bit there. That was a pretty honest boss in a lot of ways, though. Like, the parries were relatively nicely telegraphed there.
Now him, he really scared me. A human becoming a god? Terrifying. But a puppet becoming a human? Now you have my attention. Suit yourself, but it sounds fun to me. I wonder, what'll happen now? I sure don't know. But I do know one thing. You're stuck with me, and I'm stuck with you, pal. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm not your pal, guy. Really going all the way down, huh?
Huh? That's...
Okay, well. Oh boy. Probably more vitality would still be better at this point. I don't know. What's advance? It's my Legion. It's weird. Both of these do Legion. This one does less Legion, right? Yeah, health. Screw it. Alright, I learned during that it's pretty hard to do these. I'm already out of throwing cells, God. Hey, Dad. What's up? Guess he is the final boss.
I knew you could do it. We have all the ingredients we need. I dreamed of this day for so long. The moment you'd come back to life. You can be human again by using that vast supply of ergo in the arm of God. I just need the final ingredient. The one that holds your memories and your lifespan. Your heart. If you give me your heart, all these trials and tribulations will be over.
All right. I'm concerned here it's going to give me a time thing. I assume I'm going to have to say no to fight him and do the final boss, right? Just to make sure here. Like, don't do that. Yeah, refuse. Yeah, I figured.
You have been a brilliant and a good boy. As your
Part of me's not
reward,
so sure what's so be so bad about being a
shall
real
turn
boy.
you into a real boy. Give me your
I guess I'm
heart,
already a real boy.
son.
I'm not your son. I'm a new person. I'm already a real boy.
I believed you were a good boy.
Uh-oh.
But you insist on breaking my heart. Well, I suppose Carlo was
Yeah.
mischievous. It seems you inherited his personality instead of his memories. But a father always looks after his children. Even naughty ones that must be punished. Like you, in my own way, I grew to love you. After all, you're the puppet who would bring my
Oh, yeah, he
son
sounds pretty evil.
back to life.
Oh, shit. He doesn't consider me his son.
I'm disappointed in you. I didn't mean
Stab him now.
this to happen. I believed you were a good boy. If you refuse,
Oh,
then
shit.
I'll have to retrieve it myself.
What the hell is that?
My son.
Is that his corpse? Oh, God. Oh, boy. Isn't really fighting Geppetto, per se. Well, let's see how this
You can
goes.
become a
Oh, he's got
real-
the strings. That's fun.
Come to me, my son.
See if...
I never bound
Scissors.
you to the Grand Covenant like those puppets because of Carlo's memory within you.
Damn it.
I know you,
Ah, shit.
you troublesome little puppet.
Those are some combos.
Freedom is not for you, but Carlo. No fire wants to resort to the lash, but there's no other way.
Don't do that.
If you can't find those
Great,
memories,
Scott.
I'll make you into a real human myself.
It's got phases.
After I lost you, my life was full of nothing but regret.
Tricky. Ah! Thought I was gonna just get through phase one. Hey, I'm already. Yeah, the strings are very cool. Alright, this is gonna be good. Oh, Pickle Drive, thank you for the stream streak. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. How many attempts I get for this one? 10. Oh boy. See? I'm still worried it's gonna be a 3-phase fight somewhere.
Come to me, my son. I never bound you to the Grand Covenant like the other puppets because of
Got a lot to say.
Carlo's memories within you.
Oh shit.
I knew you had gone astray. Troublesome little puppet. Your freedom is not for you, but for Carlo.
Big damage.
No father wants to resort to the lash.
Oh boy. Phase the second.
How dare you? You're just a puppet.
Oh boy.
Nothing more.
Ow. Ow. Oh, come on. Okay, we look at that yellow flash next time. Who's talking? Who's Eugene? Okay. Okay. Is Lady Maria-esque. Lady Maria was such a good boss fight. Okay.
You can become
I can get
real
phase 1 down like that again, be in shape.
Come to me, my son.
Damn it. So slow. The strikes.
I never bound you.
Oh, what's
to
that,
Grand
Mike? Hit him.
Covenant like the other puppets because of Carlo's memories within you.
Get away and heal.
I knew you went astray.
Yeah, stupid.
So long to bring you back.
New strings to hold me down, lift me up to make me frown. Or there's a chance I can use my 3 combo thing. Might be better.
Come to me, my son.
Got 1. 1 out of 4 ain't bad.
I never
Damn it, I
bound
got-
you to the Grand Covenant like the other puppets because of Carlo's memories within you.
Okay.
I knew you had gone astray. You troublesome little puppet.
Okay. That.
Your freedom is not for you, but for Carlo. How dare you? You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
These are some strings. That literally has money. Combo strings, puppet strings, I get it. Come on, why does that keep doing that? That's not good. Man, that's why that thing is so risky. I thought it'd be dead, honestly. I'll take it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, come on. I want too bad! Oh boy. Was not even ready for the possibility of a counterattack there. That didn't even do that much damage. Well, he gets so much follow-ups. Why is he glowing like that? I'm getting out of there.
Maybe this is what real freedom feels like.
Damn it. Boy. Just hearing a bunch of stuff from my memories, I guess. Now I'm great. Now I'm great at parrying. I don't want to use a cube. I just don't think it's worth it here.
I will help as much as I can.
Alright. Pretty good. Oh gosh, the death counter hasn't been working all stream, huh? Shit. Just noticed. How many times did I die? That was 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just 1 death on the other boss, right? Is this good? I don't think I died at, before that. I think 5 for the day. Okay. I think we should go assess now. Alright, then we're caught up.
You can become a real human. Come to me, my son.
Should probably not be doing 2, but I can't help myself.
I never bound you to the Grand Covenant like the other puppets because of Carlo's memories within you. I know you had gone astray. You troubled puppet. Freedom is not Carlo.
This is gonna heal much.
Flash, but there's no other way.
Damn it. Let him hit me there. Come on, like, recover. Yeah, how did I miss that?
Find those memories. I'll make you a real human myself.
Not great. I mean, not terrible.
How dare you? You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
Nice. Oh, he didn't like that. I had that a little bit later. Ooh. That hurt. Okay. What happened there? You missed me. right, shit. I gotta really block that. Oh, last heal for now. Didn't get that off. That wasn't worth it. Oh my god, Mike, stop that. All right, find a better window for that instead of trying to force it. Probably when he's doing that charge thing. It's a fun fight though. I like it. You got this.
You can become a real.
I'm not. I tell you what. I'm not using any cubes until I see phase 3, which I'm almost certain exists. Damn it.
I never found the Grand Covenant puppet because of Carmel's memories within you.
Oh. I was maybe using too much stamina there.
Troublesome little puppet.
Oh boy, Mike, slow one. Worked out.
Your freedom is not for you, but for Tolkoto.
Oh boy. Got that one off somehow. Take that.
How dare you? You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
Ow. Ooh. It's a bad start to phase 2, huh? Oh my god. Oh, right, it explodes. Shit. We're just getting data, that's all. Oh my god. That's not what it's meant to do. Oh my god, phase 2 is terrible right now. Oh my god, I don't have any ammo for that. Like, this is terrible, phase 2. Oh, okay. Gotta stop getting hit by that. I had so much health though, too. Oh boy, get out of there. Okay, okay, in there. Get in there, hit him once at least. Don't get hit by that, Mike. Oh boy. Covered somewhat here. Oh my god. Oh my god! Alright, get out of there. Ah, didn't get out of there. How did I get that phase done? What happened? I was so bad at the first part of that. Then I just locked in somehow. Guess we get to see phase 3. I assume. Oh! Change your mind. Thank you, Father. I guess you weren't so bad after all.
Were you going to destroy
Ah.
Carlos' heart?
You rocked that? Maybe I just win, right? Probably not. Is it just done? Did I just win? Maybe there's no phase 3. Did I just win? I don't know why I assumed there's a phase 3. Thank you, nerd. Confirmed. What attempt was that? I don't know how I pulled that one out, because I was blowing it. Oh, I'm a real boy. I can cry. Attempt 6? Okay, I'll take it.
I'm sorry.
Redemption. Dad. I was doing so bad at phase 2 at first, and then I, like, super locked in somehow. Just getting all the berries all of a sudden. Look at that. I was even like, I was holding back resources because I was just so worried it was going to be a phase 3. Pete says, I'm going to find someone to make a game that's just 12 phase bosses and all pairing to keep you occupied forever. I would like that. Hey, you're dead. That felt good. That was a fun boss. I like it. They obviously went for the whole, like, 1v1 with an equal boss fight thing. Wait, am I dead too? No, I can't be dead. Yeah, neither of those last two gave me as much difficulty as Lightning Lady, for sure. Well, who is she? This isn't even the Blue Fairy. It's like a puppet who kind of looks like her.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, whenever I play Persona 3. And are the great writer. Oh, Carlo's the name of the person who wrote Pinocchio. That's why the name's Carlo. That makes sense. Sophia gave you her ergo, and you put her ergo into her new puppet form so she can live outside the tower again. Oh. Oh, but I'm okay, because I looked kind of dead. I got the best ending? Oh. There's post credits, I assume. Then we gotta do DLC. The bad ending's worth seeing. I'll try to find it somewhere. Okay, we can skip this. Sorry.
I have a final report on the Krot experiment.
You certainly took your time, Paracelsus. Your findings?
I think we have a new brother. A new type
The
of
treat guy?
humanity, so to speak.
There are many forms.
This is very Metal Gear Solid ending.
It's intriguing and worth further observation.
Noted. And we'll have to get his arm back anyway.
I'm counting on it. Expect another report at the next meeting. Paracelsus returning. Ah, and when I return, I will find her. For sure.
Dorothy?
Another key of ours. Dorothy.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There's a green book. There she is. It's gonna be fun, that game, when you need to go back to your home base and you clap your heels. Return to the hotel, correct? Yes, I got it, everyone. Don't worry. Return to the hotel. Hey, my heel's ready. I wonder if anybody's gonna react like I'm okay. Okay, so let's see a couple things. I wonder if people... Whoop, boss rematch. Yep.
You have been such a great help to
Yeah, I think it's kind of acts like I'm before the final boss.
This great disaster. We are
Oh,
all
never mind. They're
in
good.
pain. We're all I will do everything I can to help.
Okay, let's see if we can pick up any fun boss weapons.
Oh, did I scare It's me, Hugo.
Oh.
This whole thing has
Oh,
inspired.
jeez.
I will also keep looking for the relics. A great weapon calls for a.
I'm so glad I killed that guy. Nameless puppets, Urga. What are these? That's interesting. Staggering it. I mean, then do Fable Arts, huh? Immunity. You guys, you guys think this is important for the DLC to get immunity status stones? Because that sounds pretty nice. Probably more so than a weapon I may not use. Ooh, I do love a good giant club in these games, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I bet this weapon's cool and all, but I feel like I should. Proof of humanity, neat. Like this. This would be pretty good. I mean, I'm probably gonna find a weapon in the DLC to use. Let's get this. Who knows when we might need it. That base game was very good, by the way. I really enjoyed just the base game a lot. Really fun. Lots of great bosses. Can't use this right now. What's this? Thank you for my new life. The fact that an ergo pup can have a second life and become another kind of human requires more time for people to find out about it. Till then, I won't return to the hotel, but plan to stay at this place. The predecessor is stopped. Still, there is the aftermath, the petrification disease, and the puppets. Please heal the wounds for the people. There's a reason we have our freedom. Thanks so much. I'm grateful you freed me from my puppet strings. Yeah, you've got no strings now to hold you down, lift you up, make you frown. I pet the cat, yeah. If you ever do New Game Plus anything, is that adds wild new stuff to the P-Organ tech tree. Interesting. Most important P upgrade I got was the one that recharged my Falcon Eyes, my Legion arm. That was so helpful. Alright. Any song requests? I'm gonna go to the bathroom, get a drink here before we start this. I like Quixotic quite a bit myself. Energy? No, from here. One thing I should check, sure, let me know. Piano, okay. I'll do the piano when I come back.
face it, truth in Riverside or insanity. Unleash the giants, losing the horse, build up the seas, set the serpents alight. Define the heights, behold your sight for those windmills, let them run again. 'Cause I will fight, let it be the cold rain, be it battle I cannot survive, or another cursed spirit come from the tide. Every morning, every night, my fate confide.
Oh yeah, that. Everyone who's announced everyone thought it was an insane, stupid project. Yeah. I got real good at piano, huh? Oh yeah. Good animation on that piano playing. It's be an awkward time for my Canon arm to accidentally go off. Lies of D. Yeah, I wonder what you call the next game to make it clear it's still kind of a sequel to this, but like even the whole lies thing is very Pinocchio adjacent. And they've already said the word Dorothy in this game. They never said the word Pinocchio once. Interesting. What's this? Why is there someone here? Should I go check this out? Oh, that was just that was that dude from back when. I probably have some more emotes for him because we gave it to him. Yeah, I remember him now. I mean, if Pinocchio's known for lies, Dorothy's known for rainbows, slippers, home, wizard, the road of D. It's nuts. Oh, he's dead. No, he's not dead. But anger.
Being angry for someone else's sake. I think it's brave. I hope I find someone I can be brave for. Hello, my only friend.
So I really know nothing about this DLC. I kind of hope it is Pleasure Island stuff because we have not really done that. The Flies of D. It's like my one big surprise was that you think there'd be some big red light district called Pleasure Island in the base game. Lightning Lady and Puppet King were definitely the hardest bosses in the base game for me. Yeah, I played a video game. I know what's going on here. Gemini sometimes says unnecessary things. Like, yeah, we get it. We know what's going on here. Don't worry, buddy. Was the Red Lobster not pleasure enough? Well, true. It's not exactly looking like Pleasure Island to me. Let's go. Or if it's gonna be like Bloodborne's DLC where you can immediately find like 10 weapons that are all very good. If I have to do a little work to get a weapon.
Wakey. Oh, come on, pal, get up. I'm not sure what's going on, but we better check things out.
No pleasure greater than Cheddar Bay biscuits. I do love me a good snowy area. Are we in the Alps? Oh, okay, we gotta, of course, inspect the footprints. Ooh, my sword hit it for a moment there. Not bad. Hey, Brother Christian, thank you so much for 9 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a great evening. Thank you.
Okay, there's gotta be a stargazer nearby. Be on the lookout, pal.
Oh, great. Freeze. We got new status effects. That's what I really wanted. Yeah, back up. Hey, Pick Prime. Well, when in Rome, not really put on any of these hats. That's kind of fun, though. That seems appropriate. It's so cold. Winter look. Yeah, come on. Alright, I'm getting the feeling we should probably be equipping some of this anti-freeze stuff. Zoo. I don't want to talk with Gemini.
How? And...
Is that a Pleasure Island? No, it's a zoo. Right. That'll be fun too, though. I like the balloons. I do like zoos and museums a lot. Right, yes, the cricket is Gemini.
Yes, it is. That's Krot Zoo. How in the blazes? And I mean that literally. The zoo burned down a long time ago.
Why not?
Just give me a minute to think about this.
Have I seen Del Toro's Pinocchio? I did not. amazing. Hey, you like that for that? This was at the same time that shitty Disney one that I chose not to watch came out. Ow. And you could access this DLC probably pretty easily. Early, I mean. That would, I bet it'd be pretty difficult early on. Oh man, I want to watch that Pauly Shore Pinocchio so bad. Film in 40's it. Man, we're also gonna start this by fighting a lion. That would rule. Oh boy, creepy stuff. This is gonna rule. This is such a good idea for the DLC. Oh my god, it's an angry monkey. Put this guy in a Kia doll. Damn it, I hate when that happens. Ah! More like a baboon, huh? Oh boy, how'd that miss? Ooh. Nice accidental dodge. Whoa. Had to parry that one. Harambe. Yeah, this is a bit before Mega Man, yeah. Tickets, please. This thing's bigger. Oh boy. Oh boy. Jesus. Ow! Stop that. Jeez. I bet the conditions of this 1800 zoo is just fantastic. A lot of enrichment for the animals. Oh, that guy had a bad day. How'd that happen?
To think that you would enter this place while I, Machiona, the puppeteer of death, am here. Have you no fear?
Puppeteer of death. Sounds like a nice person. God, I love like natural history museums as a setting for a place. I think that always is great. I don't think I have enough. Nope. What's this about? Bears! I think this would open. We fought a zoo. A true zoo story. How did that happen? Ma'am, are you okay? Sir? I don't know. Hey, Gamer, thank you so much for following. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good one. Thank you. There's an item on that staircase. I wish I was fighting puppets instead of the people. I like the puppets more. No. Should probably save my Ergos.
Someone save me.
I am planning to upgrade a weapon from this DLC to use.
Madam Stalker, is it you? You've come back. Oh, no. A stalker with red hair.
A fox?
She helped me escape. The bounty blinded me. My greed. But I did find something. If you see her, tell her this isn't her fault. Merely
Hey, that's me when I was a real boy. Hmm. Interesting. What's going on here? Ow. I thought that was gonna happen. Doesn't matter. Not my first rodeo video game. Well, aren't you clever? Oh boy. Got us setting rules. Oh, good enough. Is that a rhino? An elephant. Poor elephant. I have no stamina, huh? Shit. This guy's really knocking me out. I was told to be in Savannah, so here we are. Sure has. Hippos are the danger. feel like I'm definitely going to be fighting a bear at some point. Damn stupid stairs. There's a chest over there. This is pretty open-ended. No boy. Bow? They added bows? A blade type dagger? That's interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna use that, but interesting. Yeah, the year of the bow is back, baby. Like you're moving, just kind of rolling on the stairs there. Great, we're outside again. I want technique cranks. The only crank for me. Yeah. Butterfly, probably on the other side of that bridge.
Clearly, we're still in Krot, but the zoo's still standing and intact. Is it possible that the Stargazer sent us back in time? 'Cause I remember a day like this, the day when snow was falling on the zoo.
Now, look, we never quite went over there. Let's see what's over there after we touch this. Try to miss anything. Nope, right, gotta go the other way. Oh, okay. Genre cranks. Oh shit. Oh my god, again. Stop that. Anyway. Memory of memory of the taxidermist. Oh my god. Jeez. Chest. All right, what we got here? Another weapon? Oh, quartz. I was wondering if there'd be quartz here. Well, that's good. Okay. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, I agree, Lightbringer. I mean, there's been even some people in chat who were like, I don't really think Lightspeed is that good. I thought it was definitely a 9 out of 10. I mean, this is ridiculous. I have not played enough Neo 3. So this is like, I need to play more of it, but I'm certainly surprised that Neo 3 reviewed better than this. Not that it reviewed much better, but you know, again, that's not much of a point. Thank God they give you infinite stamina in here. What's else here? I don't really need another Legion. I don't really want more cubes. I guess we'll increase the stagger window. This isn't that useful, but something. Stagger duration, stagger window, the same thing. Kind of weird, it has two different names. Enhanced guard regain. That's pretty good. That's also pretty good. I am doing a lot of perfect guards. Yeah, let's do that. I guess I could look at the earlier ones now, huh? Well, I don't know if you can use the level 5 bonuses on those. It's worse than Metroid Prime 4. Well. Hall of Adventure. Okay, I'm still gonna be greedy and not spend my Ergo yet. I'm hoping to find a weapon. Again, what am I gonna put it in? More health at this point. As soon as I find a weapon I like that I can make a technique weapon, I'm gonna just boost it all the way. Yeah, there's always a little RNG factor reviews for sure. But to ask Dan if Sekiro's better than Metroid Prime 4. Oh boy. Weapon of this zebra. Well, that's not a zebra. It just looks like one because of the stripes. That's a hippo. Somebody ate this hippo. That's a bad sign. It's cool. I can actually shoot two things with one use of that. Stone from the savannah. We're gonna be fighting a lion almost certainly now I think about it, huh? We're in the freaking savannah. Oh my god, got stuck on geometry there. They think could release a big update to Metroid Prime 4 to fix some of the issues. No. No. Just, no. One of the main issues of that game is level design. Unless you remake it. Just move on. It's fine. Like, you could do some things, I guess. Like, I don't know. Maybe make the collecting the green stuff a little less annoying, which wasn't a huge issue for me, honestly, compared to other things. Maybe... I'm shocked they just left in that line with that guy being like, you can go anywhere you want when you can't. Like, that's just weird. Maybe patch that out. Oh my god, I hate being that close to a 2-hit kill. Oh! Oh, that was a lot of the ergo. Oh, this is why I shouldn't just not spend it. Oh, ooh, that's bad. That sucked. Ooh, that didn't feel good. Ooh, that was stupid, Mike. Well, it doesn't say you can go to any biome. It says you can go get the keys in any order or whatever, and you can't. Ugh, that sucked. Still have some here. But boy, I lost a lot. How did I even have this much still? How did I get that much? Whatever. Must be one of my things, actually, that I keep some on dying. It's not a big deal. I hate how, like, that kind of aims down sometimes. Maybe I should be going to one of these other paths first, I don't know. Bye-bye. I think that chest is what I was about to unlock before, so let's go back that way, I guess. Wait, no, I can just go right here? No, of course. How could I possibly? How could I possibly overcome this barrier? Look, I get it, video games, but come on. As Retro said what they're doing, oh no. I don't think we're going to hear a new game announced for them in some time. I mean, I think the hope was that they would just make a Metroid Prime 5. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. And it's weird because my reaction to the reveal of Metroid Prime 5 is going to be very different to the Metroid Prime 4. I'm going to be much more skeptical. Like, you know, if they announce a sequel to Metroid Dread, then I'll be, yeah, super hyped for that immediately. Not really super planning to watch that Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition thing. I don't know. Just the idea of like more multiplayer stuff. It's not really what I want from that game. Damn it. Right there. These ones though. Burn him down. Oh, that ripped his arm off this one. Am I gonna buy that talking flower? Nah. I mean, it's kinda neat, but I don't need that. Right, I mean, yeah, that's the big worry. And like, an ancient disc group of mysterious symbols. Okay, don't know what that's about. It is a concern, like, is Retro gonna survive? I mean, that's a concern for a lot of US-based studios these days. Oh my god, kangaroos are terrifying. Jesus Christ. What's the kangaroo have antlers? The jackalope? They're jackalopes. Is that a thing? I forget. Texas is not expensive. U.S. game, yeah, the U.S. is expensive for game studios compared to a lot of places is the issue. Not specifically a Texas thing per se. Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Wow. This kangaroo knows combos. Wrong button. Oh my god. Oh wow, it kept going. Oof. Yeah. It's weird to hear that the Xenoblade Chronicle X Switch 2 edition is apparently not very good. Like, how you messed that up? I don't know. Nintendo's in a bit of a weird spot right now. It's AI sloth, is that what it is? Oh boy. Or is that just an assumption or Yeah, I mean Austin is pretty I'm not speaking from authority. My assumption would be that Austin, Texas is kind of an expensive place, relatively speaking. I'm sure, like, it's not as expensive as San Francisco, but... Oh my god. Don't do it. Oh, there's a chest there we never got. Maybe that's gonna be a cool, fun weapon. Oh, and also up here, there's a thing, right? Oh boy. How am I missing all of those? Where am I? I know where I am, I know where I am, I know where I am. Oh my god. Please don't get your health back. Yep, saw that happening. Oh my god. Okay, that one's bullshit. Look at that. Don't grab me. Jeez. Winter sleep amulet. Yeah, freeze resistance. I mean, freeze has not really been that much of an issue yet, to be completely honest. I don't know where it thinks this butterfly is. It's got to be down here somewhere, right? Hey, look at that. There's a chest back there. Okay, I swear it's got to, like, burn this. Leeching caliber or whatever. There you are. What the hell? Whoa. So I got to kill all of them? Alright, got him. Quartz, hell yeah. Maybe I should go back and heal up real quick again. We're in the DLC. Haven't found any bosses yet. We have to get to at least one tonight. Hope we get a new weapon. So over the only one I found is a bow. Scaring one of these guys is gonna help a lot. Oh my god, you're not dead. Alright. Finally move forward here. Get my health back. That guy's back. That probably was a bear. Ow. A rainforest. So I was supposed to get a clue in the savannah. Kangaroos aren't in the rainforest. That's right, it was the fucking kangaroo that killed me. Take that. Kangarooed to attack me. There's the big boy. God. Damn it. Oh my god, this guy's tough. Oh, thank god. Ooh, his head came off. Jeez. As a remake of Panzer Dragoon's demo. I mean, I'm just so skeptical of that thing. I don't know. The first one did not look very good for the remake. I just feel like if I want to play that game, I want to play on the Saturn. I don't know, maybe people like it. I could level up. Maybe we should. Maybe learn my lesson. We'll still have plenty left over. I am starting to like have some stamina issues. This is fine. That's new. Okay. I'll save that for a fight and never use it. For crying out loud again. What the fuck is that? Stop that. Ah, I'm frozen. Okay. That's fine. Well, shit. Thought that was going well until it didn't. Yeah, it's like you can't... If you remake a video game, I think the Prince of Persia people had the same problem. If you remake a video game that, at the time, was one of the prettiest video games ever, if you're going to remake it now, then it has to, once again, be one of the prettiest games ever. Nobody wants to see a game that, again, like was like one of the most beautiful things ever remade and now clearly look like it's has a small budget and it's kind of cheap looking. And come on. Maybe I should probably be putting on some fire stuff. Damn it. comes. Guess I have some time here. Yeah. I see, it is half giraffe, huh? Oh boy. Not even half to yet. I really should have stepped away for that. That's just gonna hit me anyways. Ow. Jeez, okay, the feet can kick. We're learning. Yeah, it's like, look, just do a Panzer Dragoon collection, man. Just give me those games. Maybe make them run 60 frames per second if you can. I don't know. Give me Panzer Dragoon 1, 2, 3, and Saga. My God. That's only, I don't want those games remade. Already? That's early. Right, the feet. Watch out for the feet. To the charge. Just not hitting any of these things for some reason. I think the source code of Saga was lost. Sure, that's why, like, you know, you're gonna remaster. You're probably gonna use a ROM. I'm not remaster. You're gonna do like a collection. I don't know. Figure something out. People can say what they want to about Kingdom Hearts, but when they lost the source code to that, they just actually remade the game so they could make it HD, and did a very good job. I missed that. Back up. The feet, Tutters, forgot. Damn. I got frozen. Shit. That's just not just a boss, my God. Oh, the feet. Fuck. Oh, shit. There's a wolf in there, too. And I'm in a baboon. Look at all these animals. What the fuck happened here? Woo! Okay, craft a new Legion arm, huh? Let's look at that. Also have a quartz. Why don't we use that thing? I bet I'm not going to fight this guy again. Kind of turned around. Is this where I came from? Wait. Did I unlock a new thing? Yeah. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, please be quiet. My bad, dude. They make this enemy the Spore Creature Creator. Man, remember the Spore hype? That was a thing. what's over here then? Just an item? Balance crank. Yes, I think Kingdom Hearts 1 at least. I don't know about 2, but yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 was basically remade, is my understanding. I don't know why they still don't have the Hotel Krat thing with X. What a weird game, Spore. And I know that's not exactly a very brave thing to say. 2026. Icarus. Seems pretty good. Shotgun shells. Okay. These other ones don't quite have as much technique scaling as my guns, which is why I'm a little skeptical of them. Can I get one of these? I guess we'll get Icarus. I mean, we have enough of these things. Let's see what it feels like. Oh. Does it? Oh, I need more Genius Legion plugs. Oh, no, never mind. I gotta just modify to upgrade it. That's just always a little confusing. We got enough of these. Use Fable slots by pressing the Fable button to launch all blades simultaneously. Yeah, that's maybe a good AoE. Double reload. Try that. We have a quartz as well. Let's just restart right now. JK. These guys have been so good, especially with the stagger. I'm skeptical, but let's try this. Looks neat. Probably go practice with it too. It's getting late, but I do want to try a boss. Gotta be getting close to a boss at this point. Is it worth going in these old ones? I mean, like, if I had 2 cores, I could get a new Fable. Now, I want to see one thing. Oh, God. I should have been doing this. Damn. I kind of wish I could refund this one. I think you can, but I don't know. Oh, God. These are way better. I don't have to do the dodge shit to use this anymore. So let's see. Still do a good amount of side. So that's 1, 3, 2, 9 damage from shooting both of those. How much Icarus did it take up? Not that much. How do they recharge? That's my question. Let's try it. Seems neat. Especially against big enemies, you imagine those blades are going to do a lot of damage. This guy better not be back. Yeah, I don't think so. They didn't think so. That parrot's still alive? Oh, the birds are still alive. Good on them. I guess being able to fly helps a lot in an apocalypse. We checked out Steam Next Touchdowns now. I'm waiting till Friday on UPF when we do some, but there is a Dinosaur Souls-like. There's a Metrovania called Solsteria or something like that. I want to check out Vampire Crawlers. Or maybe Jeff will, someone else will. Oh, for crying out loud. Cute. They're already back. I don't understand how those reload, because I already have 4 again. Seems pretty good. Dex. Weapon. Dex. Weapon. I think I may have gotten one. Bolt blade handle, huh? What is this? I mean, I can use my cranks. We'll try it. When we get back. Explosive shot, single stab. Next time we find that thing, we'll try it. See if we want to upgrade that. Because there might be other ones, so we want to be a little careful about committing.
Alchemists.
Savannah, there it is.
What are they doing here?
Where I was told to go. Back at the Savannah. Looks like the Animal Kingdom
There must
Lodge.
have been a fight. But this much blood. Someone is dying or dead.
I'm a little annoyed. I haven't fought a bot yet, to be honest. A lot of these DLCs are like this. What's upstairs? Shortcut. Pinocchio got a sequel hat. Hell yeah. Okay, so we're going to try out Lorenzi Bolt Blade. It's a great sword type? Really? This is the one I just got, right? Yeah. Whoa. This thing bigger than I was expecting? Holy shit. Okay, it's like a spear. It's rocket powered! Good. That's gonna, man, that's a very easy way to hit that stagger state. it's definitely slower than my last one, but it's pretty freaking cool. Hey, Mary, how's it going? 59. It's that number that haunts my family. Hope you had a great stream. Thank you so much. I'm playing Liza P. I just got a rocket-powered spear, and I think I love it. I think I'm gonna use this. Hey, Toastman. Yeah, when I just picked this up, I was skeptical, but boy, unless people think there's like some other weapon I should really be saving for, this seems awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you like Souls-likes, this is very good. And I've been playing a lot of them lately. So I beat the base game, and now I'm in the DLC. This is like a new weapon I just picked up, and I'm very interested. That's ranged. Interesting. And then this one, like, dashes in. Oh, man, this moveset seems good. Again, not as fast, but, I mean, I can still get a hit in, which is basically what I'm doing my other one. I think I'm going to upgrade this baby. I think this is the West. There's so many big enemies, big heavy enemies here, too.
So much has happened, but it feels all because of you. I just want safety for everyone. That's why I should make sure you're well armed.
I'm sure we have enough to do this. Probably have enough to upgrade a few of these if we want to, so this isn't a scary commitment or anything. Tachos. They're mine, not tachos. Okay, now we have an ergo problem, but I got some stuff. Bye. Have a good night. Thanks again for the raid, Mary. Everyone make sure you're following Mary, please. Almost. Oop, they almost used that one.
I just want that's why I should.
I'm very excited about this weapon. Thank you for the bit, Super Smash Nate. Appreciate it. Alright. Oh, and let's use a crank.
I just want that's why I should.
So sadly, it's not going to be, unless we can use the second one, it's not going to be S, but I think it's still going to be very sweet. Okay, we'll take it. I can't, if I get 2 technique cranks, I can't just do it again, huh? I think I can buy 2 from this guy right here.
You have been such a...
Maybe we should make sure I do like this before I commit that hard, because this guy has cranks. Yeah. Also need some souls. So let's go as we are right now, and then we can do that later if we want to. I actually still have to make some food tonight. This is why I want to see a boss soon here. I can't really play too much later tonight. Okay, there's a chest there. How do I get that? Oh, great. The monkeys are throwing shit at me. How did that miss? Oh my god, stop that. I don't even have my gun. I can't shoot you anymore. I haven't used a heavy weapon like this in a while, but it feels pretty good right now. Cluster grenade. Oh, okay. I mean, we'll just kill them all. Oh boy, actually, just one of the scary ones down there. That kangaroo is very mean. Oh, right, you can't dodge that. Oh boy. This one didn't charge that enough. Oh my god. There we go. Alright, feels good. Yeah, just you. 2 hits on that? Hell yeah. This guy moves around so much, I guess I'm a little skeptical. Oh, that did some damage, holy shit. Oh boy, it seems like, I mean, that was a lot easier than the first time we fought this guy. Okay. The monkey's still fucking going. Let me backstab a kangaroo. Come on. Well, that's a new sentence? Alright, let's do some work. Ah, shit. Missed. I do like this weapon. Oh, a technique crank. I need one of those. Alright. What am I missing so I can't get, so I can get that, I guess I gotta go from above? Yeah. There's gotta be a way. There's a ladder here. This will help. Ow. We're gonna get hit by shit and get thrown off. I think I'm gonna unlock a shortcut here, though. Yep. Want to reset the area yet. Manus. Hey, Manus is that jerk from the game. Okay, so not this way. There's gotta be another ladder somewhere. I gotta go on that bridge. Whoops. 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 Oh my god. It's got a precision aiming. No, this is fantastic. Alright. Better be worth it. Huh, broken cutting grindstone, huh? Broken piercing grindstone. Oh, it just increases my piercing or whatever damage. You can just repeat that running attack non-stop and rock it around. Oh. Like this? That's pretty good, huh? Just running strong. That seems pretty good. Is this faster than sprinting? I mean, it uses stamina, but that's pretty neat. Yeah, I'd be interested to watch a speed run. Rocking around at the speed of sound. Get our health back. Actually, let's go buy that other crank. Get our scaling back up in this thing. If you release early, it doesn't delay you at all.
You have been such a...
I just want safety. That's why I...
Not afraid. Never mind. Well, good to have those anyways. All right, this is what it is. That's fine. A is fine. Let's see what you mean by this release early. If you release early, you don't. What do you mean delay? They got the end there. I could not change the handle of this weapon to an S scaling. I just looked. I upgraded it one time already. I can't upgrade it again. That's an interesting combo. Like if you stop before an actual attack. I don't really understand. I still don't. I don't really understand what you mean or what you're trying to make me do, honestly. Well, I could put another handle on it, but I don't want to do that. I like this handle. Oh, what the hell is this? I think I got it. I think I figured it out by accident. Okay, so just push them together. Oh my god. Okay. How do I do that? So, it's like if I'm running and then push both again. Okay, I get it. Wow. That's fun. Okay. This kind of game's always do fun stuff with the DLC weapons, Geppetto built a rocket, boy. Yeah, well, whatever. I want to change this handle. Again, A scaling will be good enough. This weapon seems to do a lot of damage. You know, having some motivity scaling is not the worst thing in the world. I can even put some... Nah, I wouldn't put points in motivity, but, you know. I have some in there. Oh my god, it picks up speed the longer you do it. Is this a boss arena? Yes, it is. Oh, here we go. Wrong button. Don't fight! Oh my god, I'm blowing it. Alright, well, let's try that again. Okay, at least we are at a boss. I mean, those attacks were pretty honest. I was just kind of missing them all. Oops. Yeah, I will be shocked that the final boss here is in 3 phases, but maybe not. That's really fun. God, you can make a whole game with this weapon. My Icarus should be good against this big boy. Okay, maybe I can't parry that one. That's kind of a grab. Oh my god. Oh my god. Basically all my damage is from my Legion arm right now. Okay. I hate alligators too. I'm actually terrified of them. If you defeat this boss, he commits some Poco. Yeah, he's just like frickin' Sir Alone or whatever. Juan. I've like not parried this alligator once. I don't know why. Everything says a slight delay to it. I have seen all dogs go to heaven. It's been a while though. It's been a long time. Of course he has. That's true. It's been a moment. I might have seen all dogs go to heaven too, direct to video. If I can just not get hit by every single thing this guy does, be in good shape. If I could parry him once. Boy, I got one. Well, time like should I heal? Oh boy. Oops. I don't think he's harder than the final boss. I think I'm just blowing it a little bit. I'm gonna fall off this bridge someday. I just know it. Stuck like this. Give me some room. I just can't. Please. Can't fucking see anything, game. Oh, that's the eat! Oh, I don't know what to do about not getting eat. Yeah, I can rocket away from it. Maybe I can parry it. That's myself in hot sauce. There you go. I might like that. Oh boy. parried it. Parried again. Wow, that block is good too. I have like no stamina. Ooh, boy. Peyton would know how to handle the Crocs, it's true. Surprised the stamina became an issue. Maybe we should look at our badges. You're playing Klonoa on GBA? It's a good game for sure. I think I played that one back in the day, maybe? I would like to play it again. What we got? Technique? Yeah. That's fine. This isn't giving us a ton if there's anything better. I mean, maybe just that. I don't know how much it's doing. Or this is like Dark Souls DLC where you'll get like just better versions of them too. I think we're fine with these, honestly. Those are gonna move the needle. Oops. Tail. I gotta parry that, I think, but boy, it's rough. It's like a little snap at the end of it. How'd that? There we go. A little bit longer to get off than I would like. Oh boy. Oh my god. Just constantly healing. Man, one thing that's a little bit rougher about the slower weapons is it's hard to get your health back. The spoons do not use the rocket to fight anyone, just to zoom around. I mean, that makes sense. I wonder if they like have to come to the DLC really early just to get the rocket and then leave. Oop, wrong way. Oop, wrong button. Whatever. Get this back. Do I try singing Rocket Man while I fight the gator? Not yet, but good idea. Interesting idea. Trying to do it too early. Gotta be able to parry that, because I can't dodge it. I don't think I can anyways. Oh my god. What if I do better with my other weapon? I don't want to try yet. I don't want to go back yet like a coward. I don't think that's the issue. I mean, the issue is I'm getting hit by everything, not my weapon. Part of me is a little curious to try out the... I don't even think the bullets would help. Again, it's just the attacks are so... It's hard to get the patterns down. Oops. Oh boy, alright, well. Wrong button there. That's alright. Oh, did that miss? No, I got him. I've been hitting him a few times. How about that? Try dodging more on that one, honestly. Ah, that did work. Oh my god. Okay. God, is the gator punching? What? Ah! Range is so good. First try.
Whew. The size of that thing! Is that how big they normally get?
Of course not. Obviously not.
Anyway, that was a huge takedown, buddy. Might I say, you're pretty good at
Right,
this.
I will accept your praise, though. Thank you. Whew. Crocodile rocks. Nice. Nice. That's nice. That gave me to a save. Whew. There's puppets here.
My eternal master rules
We gonna see puppets soon? Makiona. Santo Margarina. Oh, watch us. Oh, healing's ready.
Kill you.
I was gonna say something. All right. Carnival. Hey! Maybe that's where the fucking Pleasure Island shit's gonna be. Alright. Some pretty big froggies today, that's for sure. Mike and the quest for Pleasure Island. That's all I talk about. See if there's any fun weapons from that. Dude, man, when I get my Legion, I do a ton of damage with that now, which is nice. That's my corner at the Rainforest Cafe. Wow.
A great weapon calls.
I don't know if I even still get anything from... I don't even know if I got Ergo from that guy. I don't think I did. What did I get? Did I get Quartz? I think so. I got a full Moonstone. Sure.
Je peux t'entendre dans mon cœur.
Nah, I can switch the song. I definitely want more. I'm kind of... This thing is a bit of a stamina hog, so more stamina will not be bad. But not that I get much. 2. Something, I guess. I mean, the level ups just aren't going to be that impactful anymore. It's just how these things go at this point. All right, fun stuff there. Lots of proggies made. We beat the base game. We beat the first boss of the DLC. 175 deaths. We'll probably hit 200 during this DLC, I'm sure. Cool stuff. Really enjoying the game. Tomorrow we got the Bombcast. We've got Last Night 10 Dogs. All sorts of fun stuff. All right. People seem to be really liking that Vampire Survivors, Vampire Dungeon, whatever it's called. Blight Club's Wednesday. I'm going to allow myself another day to not think about it. Oh, we'll look up the bad ending. Maybe at the end of the game we'll look up the bad ending. Yeah, too late now. Okay, is anyone still streaming? Mary already rated me. Will Smith is playing Super Battle Golf. I like that game. I'm pretty good at it, it turns out. How do you get notifications for Blight? If you're following Giant Bomb, you should. But we post on Blue Sky just for Blight. Just Blight. I don't think you get them for just for Blight Club. You'd have to get them for everything. But it is. I mean, I can tell you when it's happening. It's gonna happen. What time do we do it? Wednesday on a Giant Bomb at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is the starting time for it. All right, everyone. Raid initiated. Super Bag also on sale. I really like that game. All right, say hi to Will Smith. See you all later. Goodbye.